All right, we spent the last 3 days working on section 6.4, and today we're gonna finally move forward, and we're gonna start solving different types of radical equations. So if you look at your equation and you see a radical in it, it's a radical equation. Now, we learned how to rewrite radical equations, right? How do you rewrite a radical equation? So for example, if you saw this, the square root of x equals 4. Is there another way you can rewrite this equation? This is an equation, and it's asking you what number, if you took the square root of it, will give you 4. Is there another way to rewrite this?
Square root of 4.
It's already says square root of x is equal to 4. Is there another way to rewrite it with
Square root of 16.
with an exponent that's a fraction? So everybody see that? So I want you to be exposed to that. Make sure you understand that. You can see these are the same problem. Okay? Everyone got that? Now, what they're asking you is what number, if you took the square root of it, gives you 4? So when we did square roots, or cube roots, or fourth roots, how many of a kind is based on what? What's this called? What's that little number called? The index. So in other words, the only way to get this radical out of the way is if you had 2 of them. So if you squared both sides, you could get this radical out of the way. Well, what if it was a cube root? How many of a kind are we looking for? 3. We would have to raise both sides to the 3rd power. So if I had a 4 here, I would do that. Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to solve square root and other types of radical equations. It's going to take us a couple days to do this. And what you're going to notice is you're working with equations. How do you know you have an equation? How do you know you have an equation?
Equal sign.
The equal sign. So, how do you know you have a radical equation? Because you have a radical in the problem in a variable. So our job is to figure out what the solution is. What does that mean?
Answer.
The answer. The answer to what?
Problem.
The solution.
So can someone else say it? If I give you this problem, 3 plus square root of 2x minus 3 equals 8. What are we looking for? X. What? Here it is. Here's x. You ever hear that joke? Where's x? Here it is.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Here it is. Okay.
It's not funny.
What? Be more specific. What am I looking for?
Variable.
The answer. What do you mean? The value. What do you mean?
Value of X.
The value of x. What do you mean? Be more specific.
That's hard.
Okay, or get x by itself. What do you mean? I'm looking for 3. Find the number that if I took 2 and multiplied that number that I'm looking for, that I'm searching for, subtracted 3 from that number, took the square root of that, added 3 will give me the 8. So I'm looking for a number that if I multiplied 2 by it, subtracted 3, took the square root of that number, and added 3, I will get an 8. That's what you're looking for. Now, think of when you said I need to find x. Here's x right here. Well, what does x have to be so that if I did all this good math, I would get an 8?
14.
14. Now, how'd you get 14? Did you just guess?
No.
No?
2 times 14 is 28, minus 3 is 25.
But what made you think of 14? Did you do any work to get 14? If somebody handed you this is a present, this is a gift, and it's all wrapped up, it's in this nice box, and inside this box, it's hidden, you can't see this. You're looking, that's your gift right here, this X. If somebody handed you this present, how are you gonna get to this X? Are you gonna be an animal and just like tear it apart? What are you gonna do? If someone handed you this box, it's all wrapped up, you can't see that, what are you gonna do? You're gonna undo everything, right? You wanna get to this. You have to slowly take what that person did, they packaged this nice gift for you, and you have to undo it. What's the first thing you're gonna do? You wanna get to this, right here. So your job is to undo all of the operations that are under here, that are here. So does anyone think she's onto something? She gave us the answer, but how did she get that answer? I need the steps. Does anyone know the first thing I wanna do? I'm pointing to it. You're gonna get rid of this 3. So in math, whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So the first step is to isolate, get this radical, this is the little gift. So in other words, this might be the card. There's a card or a bow. You first remove that, right? You don't open up a gift before you unwrap the card, open up the card. So I'm trying to give you an analogy of why you're doing this. So you get 5 here. So now, here's your box. You took the card and the bow off. What kind of index am I dealing with? 2. So I want this to have a twin, another one of these. So I'm gonna raise this to the second power. Good. If it were a cube root, what do you think I'm gonna need? 3rd power. What if it were a 4th root? 4. So the index is the boss. It tells me what I'm gonna do to this side right here. So if I need 2 of them, guess what I have to do to this side? Same thing, square that side. So what I have here is the opportunity now to take that radical out. So I have 2 of them. What is 5 squared? It's not 10.
25.
Good. Okay, we're getting close. We just took the wrapping paper off of our package.
So
Here's our gift. We
add
still
3
don't know what it is. We gotta get that tissue paper out of the
Add
way.
3 to each side.
We're gonna what?
Add 3 to each side.
Add 3,
And then divide by 2.
and then what is 25 plus 3?
28.
And then do what?
Over 2.
And what's my answer?
14.
Now, so what were we trying to find? We were trying to find a number that if we multiplied it by 2, and then we subtracted that from 3, and then we took the square root of that and added 3 to that, we would get 8. Let's see, does it work? What is 2 times 14? This is what we're doing. Does this side equal 8? Okay, so 2 times 14 is 28. What's 28 minus 3? What's 28 minus 3? 25. What's the square root of 25? And what is 5 plus 3?
What are we doing?
It is 8.
Oh, you
Does
work
8
backwards.
equal 8? Does 8 equal 8?
Yes.
Every day. 8 is 8. So, the number we were looking for was 14. We just got a 14. That was our gift. Okay, so, what do you think we are doing? We are trying to solve equations that have radicals in them. And the objective is to get the radical by itself. Think of this as like a game. You're trying to figure out a way to get the radical out of the way, so you can solve for that x.
Fun game.
It's a fun game. So, for this next one, anyone think they know what to do first?
That's 5.
Add 5 to both sides. And then what? What's the index? It's a 2, so what do I want to do to both sides? Because it's a 2, I want to square, not going to cube both sides if the index is a 2. So I've got 2 of these 4x plus 1s, so I can get rid of that radical now. What's 5 squared?
25.
25. What do you think you're going to do next?
Minus 1.
You're getting closer. Subtract 1.
6. Oh. Divide by 4.
And divide by 4. And what's your answer?
6.
Now, should we check this? Yes. Let's just do it in our head. Can we just do it in our head? What's 6 times 4? It's 24 plus 1. What's the square root of 25?
5.
Is 5 minus 5 equal to 0?
Yes.
Yep, we just got a 6 for him.
So, is there homework now?
We're gonna do these 6. I wanna hear you guys. Number 9. I wanna hear your voices. What do you think you're gonna do here?
Minus 3.
Minus 3.
Minus 3. Then what?
Divide by 3.
Yep. Then what?
Take the square root of x.
Not the square root, you're gonna square
That's what I meant.
both sides. And what do you get?
16.
16. Does it work? The square root of 16 is 4, 4 times 3 is 12, and 12 plus 3 is 15.
What?
Get it? Okay, number 10, what should I do?
Plus 1.
Add 1, then what?
Divide by 4.
Then what?
4x.
Then what? You're gonna square both sides. And is x equal to 2?
Just 1.
1. This is a common mistake. They will say 1 times 2 is 2. It's 1. And check it. Number 11. Number 11.
Just square root.
Not square root. It says square
Square it.
root of x plus 3 equals 5.
Just square it.
You're gonna square
Same
both
thing,
sides. What do you get?
X plus 3 equals 25.
Uh-huh, then what?
Minus 3.
And what do you get?
X equals 23.
Yep. Next one.
Is that minus 4? There's no equal sign. Oh.
You just square it.
That's an equal to sign.
Oh, okay.
Okay, what do you do? Square both sides. What do you get?
3x plus 4 equals 16, minus 4 on each side. You get 12, and then 3x equals 12, and then you divide by 3, you get 4.
Yep.
We're good now.
Is this easy?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
keep going.
Keep going. 16. What do you do?
Add 7.
Add 7.
You square it.
Then you do what?
Oh.
You square it.
And what do you get?
2x
Yeah,
plus
that's
3
one.
equals 49.
Then what?
Then you minus 3, then divide by 2.
And then divide by 2. What do you get?
23.
23.
Oops.
Now,
Add 1.
what do you get?
No.
Wait, that's right. Now, let's say you wrote 21.
On the line.
If you were to plug 21 in here and do the math, you're gonna find your error, hopefully. Okay, last one, we're doing together. What do I do first?
Plus 3,
Add 2,
Oh.
square it.
square both sides. Okay, then what?
6 minus 3x equals 4.
Then what?
Subtract 6.
What's 4 minus 6?
It's negative
Every time I do something like that, I think it's wrong.
I know.
Same.
So the answer would be negative 2/3.
Negative.
It's
You're
2/3.
close.
Or just 2/3.
2/3. Does it work?
Yeah.
Let's check it. So we're not sure. Like he said, we get something like this and we think, something's wrong. So let's check it. Is 6 minus 3 times 2/3, and then we took 2 away from that, does that give you 0? What happens right here to these 3's? They cancel. So you have 6 minus 2. What's 6 minus 2? What's the square root of 4? Whoop, 6 minus 2, sorry guys. 6 minus 2. What's 6 minus 2? 4. What's the square root of 4?
2.
2. What's 2 minus 2? 0. Does 0 equal 0?
Yes, it does.
It sure does. Okay, so I want you to flip to section where it says problem 2.
Can't even see this like at all.
Can you guys see this? It says, I want you to rewrite it. 3 times x plus 1 raised to the 2/3 power is equal to 12. Now, do you know there's another way you could write this problem?
Hey, where are you at?
I'm on problem 2, on the next page. See, here's the front page, and just flip it. Yeah. Now, this problem really also reads like this, and we're not doing all these today. I just want to expose you to them.
Expose me like that.
Now, that's another way to write the same problem. It's the same thing.
Yep.
But I'm going to teach you, we're going to just do a couple of these, and then we're saving them for tomorrow. But I want to do a little today and a little tomorrow. These are harder. Does anyone think they know the first step? It's another gift. You're getting a gift.
You just take the third root of 1, right?
Well, wait. What about this sitting little
5
number
by
out
3.
here? What do you think you're going to do with this?
Oh, divide.
First, you want to get the radical by itself, so you're absolutely right. We're going to divide both sides by 3. Equals what?
X plus 1 to the third power and then equals 4.
Good. Now, do you remember how to find the index? Because the index is the boss. Where is the index on this problem? Whoops, and I wrote this wrong. I wrote it wrong, you guys. Nobody said anything.
What?
This should be the cube root of x plus 1 squared. I wrote that wrong. What is the index on this problem? What is it? Louder.
3.
It's a 3. It's a 3. The denominator is the index. So when it was squared, when it was square root, what did you do to both sides? When it was square root, what did you do to both sides? You what? You squared both sides. Well, this is a cube root. So what are you going to do to both sides? You're going to cube. Cube. I want you to do this for me. Put a 3 here, and I want you to cube that side too. What happens to these two 3's?
Cancel out.
They cancel out. So what you have here is x plus 1, the quantity squared equals, is 4 to the 3rd
64.
power 12?
No.
It is what?
64.
It's 64, thank you. Now, does this look like a problem that you did last year,
Yeah.
where you took the square root of both sides? Do you remember this? And then you had x plus 1 equals plus or minus 8.
Mhm.
Do you remember this from last year? And then what are you going to do? Subtract 1. So it's -1 plus 8 and -1 minus 8. Those are your two answers. X is, there's two values for x. Anyone know what the two values are?
I'm really confused.
You are?
Can you do it the
7.
other way?
and negative 9. I can do it the other way. I can do it the other way. So, here's the other way. Are you on this one right here? Okay, what did you first say you're gonna do?
Just divide.
Both sides by? Okay, so you have the cube root of x plus 1 squared equals 4. Now, what do you want to raise each side to? The third. We're right here. We're at this point right here. These two are that's that step right there. So now you've got 3 of these x plus 1 squareds. So what do you have? You have x plus 1 squared. And again, 4 cubed is 64.
What is that?
Now you're right there again.
The other way?
You're in the same spot.
Wait, why do you get x plus 1 squared? That's why if you don't distribute the 2.
No, you're not, this is a binomial square. You have x plus 1 times x plus 1, but you've got 3 of them.
Okay.
So now you're gonna take the square root of both sides. So you have x plus 1 equals plus or minus 8, and then subtract 1.
Wait, how do you take the square root of How do you take the square root of x plus 1 and get x plus 1?
You've got 2 of them. You've got 2 of them. You've got x plus 1 times x plus 1. So I only want one of these x plus 1s. So you're gonna take the square root of both sides.
Why is it plus or minus 8 again?
Because the square root of 64 is 8 and negative 8 from section 6.1. Now, there's another way you can do it, but it's harder. You can actually FOIL this, and you guys don't want to go there. And subtract 64, set it equal to 0, and factor. You guys are not good at factoring, so I wouldn't go that route. But some people do. Yes, these are harder. Absolutely, they are harder. That's why I wanted to start them today, and we're going to do some more tomorrow. So little by little, you have to understand how to get the radical by itself. See this? This is the radical that I'm talking about. This is the 5th root of x plus 1. You've got 3 of them. So do you think you know what to do with this 3 and this 1? What do you think you're going to do with the 3 and the 1 here? Anyone have a suggestion? Okay, not add them, but for this one, how are you going to get rid of that 1? You're going to subtract 1. And then I heard it, divide by 3. So we have 24, and then divide by 3, what do you get? What do you get? Hello? Is everyone with me there? All right, now, how many of a kind do I need? I need 5. So I'm going to raise that to the 5th power, so I have to raise this to the 5th power. All that raising this to the 5th power is going to give me is what's underneath it, which is x plus 1, that quantity cubed. Now I need, this is a big number, what is 8 to the 5th power? 32,768. Now, I've got 3 of these. How many do I want? I want 1. I've got 3 of them. So now I'm going to take the cube root of both sides. Because I only want 1 of these. I've got too many. I've got x plus 1, 3 of them. And by the way, the cube root of 32,768 is 32. And now what do you think you're going to do? Last thing.
Minus 1.
Yeah. And the answer is 31.
Where do you get the 1 from?
This one, 'cause it's in the problem. Plus 1.
Alright, can we just stop there?
We are. We are. Actually, we're gonna do one more, and then we're gonna stop. And we're gonna do the rest tomorrow. But I wanna do one more with you. Because it's gonna take you to see these like 2 or 3 days. That's why I'm starting it. Yes, you're frustrated right now, that's normal. But tomorrow, when we do a little bit more, you'll feel a little bit better. And then by Wednesday, you'll be professional. So, believe it or not, you're getting something out of this. Can you tell me, this says 2 times x plus 3 to the 2/3 power equals 8. I bet you can tell me the first step. See? Divide by 2, you got it. Now, could you rewrite this a different
Yeah.
way?
3
The
square root of
index
x
is
plus 3.
3,
Squared.
x plus 3, there's 2 of them, equals 4. That's just rewriting this in a different language. That's all I did, I didn't do any math. Didn't do any math, I just built on what we learned in the last section. How to rewrite something from, this is a rational exponent to a radical. Now that should not be difficult. Now the index is the boss. I want to get rid of this radical. So what do I have to do to both sides? Cube, see, you're getting it. Cube both sides. So what do I have here? All I've done was eliminated this cube root. I still have underneath here x plus 3 squared. So now, what is 4 to the 3rd power? 64.
Squared.
Square root, now you got it, square root. Now I'm going to give you a hint. When you have 2 of them, if this index is even, this power I should say, if this power is even, you're going to have 2 answers, plus or minus 8. If it's odd, you're only going to have 1.
Wait, so it's x
So
plus
then minus
3
3
equals plus
from
or
that?
minus 8?
X, yes, because now you had 2 of these.
Why don't you minus 3 on each side?
Well, first you got 2 of these. I don't want 2 of these. I don't want X, this is what you have. You have, this is what, let me show you in a long version. This is what you had. You had X plus 3 squared equals 64. That's what you had, right there. I don't want, this is what I have stretched out. I don't want 2 of these.
Okay.
I want 1 of them. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides. Because I have 2 of them, I only want 1. So I have an x plus 3 equals, and then you have to write plus or minus.
Yeah, why don't you minus 3 on each side when you, after
Well,
you
you
square it?
can't do that until you get rid of this.
You know what I'm saying, after you do that.
Yeah, we are.
Oh,
We are.
so wouldn't it be,
We're not done yet. We
Oh.
weren't done yet. You asked me why didn't we subtract 3? We weren't at that point yet.
I thought you were done with the problem.
Nope, subtract 3. So it's negative 3 plus 8 and negative 3 minus 8. And sorry, it says C problem 2, ignore that. Just finish the problem. So these 3's cancel, and you get negative 3 plus 8 and negative 3 minus 8. What are your 2 answers? 5 and negative 11. And what you could do is plug both answers in and see if they work. Now tomorrow, we're gonna do more of those kind of problems, but for today, I just want you to get good at the 6-5, 1 through 12. So just do 6-5, 1 through 12 on this page. This is your homework right here.
Hey, Louis, guess what?
What's the homework, you guys?
1 through 12.
1 through 12.
Nice job.
It's gonna be on YouTube.
7 though.
Thank you, Travis.
Oh, God.
Finish it.